So Ableton Live Session View. What is it? Why should you use it? When should you use it? And when should you not use it? We're going to talk about all that in this video right now. Also, just in case you didn't notice, this is a new lens. Let me know if you like it. And these are new glasses. I just got them today. So almost every new song I start actually starts inside of Ableton Live's Session View. And the reason for that is it's tailored to this unique approach of songwriting. Basically, instead of going left to right in your traditional DAW, like you have your intro, you go to your verse, or I guess for your view, it'd be like intro, go to your verse, you go to your chorus, etc. It works top down in terms of song structure. But the cool thing about that is it actually lets you trigger stuff in whatever order you want. So I'll show you on the screen in a sec. But the result of this is that you can just write a bunch of ideas that are related to each other and not worry about the song structure. Whereas if you were to do this in like the traditional timeline, left to right, like in Logic or Cubase or whatever, it's a lot harder to change your song structure around. You gotta like copy and paste the section of all your tracks and move stuff around and shift stuff around. It's very tedious and it's not very conducive to the act of songwriting on the fly. Let me just show you what I mean. So this is the arrangement view, and if you look up the top, we have all these different colored tracks, which is exactly what they are. They're tracks going from left to right instead of up and down. Now over here I have different song segments, so from top to bottom you have whatever clips of that specific track that you're working on, and you can actually just go in and play any of these clips. But if you want to play the whole like section that includes all the tracks inside of that grouping, then you can just click this play button over here and it'll play it. Now the cool thing is you can just drag these around, so bam, song structure changed. And the other cool part is that you can actually play this stuff live. So if you're trying to do some live performance thing, you can kind of preload this with certain things and then be able to have some flexibility in terms of when you play certain things. It's not just like, this is your timeline. It's this is your session. You control your timeline. And I use it for songwriting. So right now the song's in its early stages. I'm just coming up with little song ideas. I don't know the song structure. I don't know how everything's going to work. I don't have transitions and stuff because that always comes at the end. And I always start my songs this way for this exact reason. I can move stuff around. Originally it only started with a couple of ideas, and I just expanded it out, and then I eventually realized, okay, I want to have another verse after this interlude, and then I want to have another interlude after this part I have called Drive. Then I have my song structure. So that is what the session view is. It's this way of organizing your individual ideas and having the flexibility to change them later. Now, when you should use this is the case I just described. You know, you have a song idea and it's not fleshed out yet. You don't know when things are going to happen. You start your songs in the session view and then later you move them on to the arrangement view. So today's episode is actually brought to you by Audible. If you've never heard of Audible, it's this gigantic library of audiobooks, and they're offering you, the viewers of my channel, a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook if you go to audibletrial.com/Andrew Southworth. And the book I just finished, which I think you'll like, is How to Make It in the New Music Industry, or New Music Business, by Ari Herstand. And it was like a 14-hour listen, but I listen to audiobooks when I'm driving point to point. You can't really do anything else when you're driving. So that's when I listen to audiobooks, and it's just about music marketing and kind of trying to make money and build a career out of music. So yeah, go to audibletrial.com/Andrew Southworth and get your free audiobook. Now, in terms of when you should not use the session view, I think, I'm sure some people disagree, but I think you should take your song from the session view to the arrangement view when you're going to start adding your automation, your transitions, and getting into like the mastering as well. So any kind of like effects and in specific song structure stuff, because once you lock in your song structure here, it's a lot easier inside of the arrangement view to actually add your risers and add the correct automation, because the automation it won't apply if you change your song structure. So, you know, once you get to your point where your song's done, that's when you take it to the arrangement view. So that kind of describes when you shouldn't use it. You shouldn't use this view when you're finishing your song and locking down the structure. Now, when you get your song to the point where you think it can be brought to the arrangement view, it's very easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. I won't play the whole process because it basically involves you actually playing through these sections. There's a way to do it without doing that, but I like to do that because it's kind of like a ear confirmation of my song structure, like a last second thing to hear it. But all you do is you hit this record button, and then you just kind of play these things in the order you want, and it records the arrangement view. So I'll show you that really briefly, and then we'll do a time cut. Bam, now we're in the arrangement view. So as you see, now my tracks are laid left to right in the song structure that I wanted. Now I purposefully left out a section here at the end that I had in my session view, this interlude here. So just to try to illustrate the traditional way of moving a song structure around. So typically you go in, you copy this, and you paste it around, which is not a huge deal, but you know, when it comes to like, oh, I actually want to have this be here, and then I want to like grab all this, and then I want to move it over here, like, you know, it starts to add up over time doing that a whole bunch, and the session view is a way to alleviate that. And when you have it so easy, it like triggers something in your mind where you just, song structure doesn't matter. It's all about whatever, you know, whatever, not that song structure doesn't matter, but it's all about like making something that works and experimenting super easily. If I had an idea that flip that around, flip this around, and it takes me like 10 seconds to do it, I might not realize another idea I might have in the process, or I might not make a mistake in the session view that would come up with something awesome. So if you don't use Ableton Live at this point and you're wondering which DAW you should get, I have this awesome video you can check out right here on Ableton Live versus Logic Pro X. Hopefully it'll help you narrow down what you want to get, and hopefully this video kind of shows you what session view is. But if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, consider subscribing for more, check out that video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.